Welcome to Bria Brown Live. I'm your host, Bria Brown. On today's show, I will be interviewing the founder and co-founder of Detroit Hives, and I'm going to let them explain what Detroit Hives is. So, welcome Tim. Welcome Nicole.
Welcome. Glad to be here.
Awesome. You guys know how excited I am about this. We were talking about this before we started taping. But what is Detroit Hives?
Well, I can kick it off. Detroit Hives is a nonprofit organization. And what we do is we not only remove blight in the city of Detroit, but we transform that vacant lot into urban bee farms for the community, where we do offer tours and bee education classes for the community of all ages.
Okay.
Yep.
He
explained it all.
Now, with you guys doing all of this, for those who are interested, do they have to pay a certain amount, or is it free? Like, how does that work?
Well, at this time, we just had several classes, but there haven't been a cost for it.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
No cost right
Now, go a little bit deeper into you guys handling the bees. That's what I'm excited about.
Okay. I'll probably let her take the floor on this one.
So as handling the bees, we put them in a hive. We purchased like 2 packages.
Okay.
So each package has 10,000 bees. Yes.
10,000?
10,000 bees in each package.
Oh my goodness.
So we placed them in each of their hives.
Mm-hmm.
They both have their own separate hives.
Okay.
And then we have like frames in there so they can start building their honeycombs, laying eggs, collecting pollen.
Now, how long does that process take?
Well, it takes a couple of days for them to start making the honeycomb.
Mm-hmm.
When we got the new package, they had to accept the queen first, so it took them a couple of days for them to get used to her smell, to let them know that they had all accepted her in. And then shortly after that, she'll start laying eggs.
Do you know how many eggs the queen lays?
She lays,
It's a lot.
It's
That
a lot.
seems like a lot.
It's a lot.
Okay.
So she lays the eggs.
Mm-hmm.
There are nurse bees that attend to the
bees.
the eggs and the larvae to make sure they're fed.
Okay.
And then like 21 days it takes for them to
fully hatch
and develop and be born.
Once they're born, you can see a nest of them just kind of flying right outside the hive. And what they're doing is they're kind of going through what you would call like an orientation flight.
Okay.
They're learning how to fly and float and trying their bees out for the first,
Yeah.
the wings
Okay.
out for the first time.
It's like orientation on the duties that they're going to be doing. And the worker bees are all female.
Okay.
Then there's drones.
Now, what are drones?
Drones are the male bees.
Okay.
The male bees don't do anything besides but mate with the queen.
Why the male bees don't have to do nothing? They got to do something. Why the ladies got to do all the work?
Yes, the ladies do all the work. They clean the hive. They're nurse bees. They go out and forage. They also protect the hive as well. So the women have several duties, and they'll work until they die.
Now, some of the pictures that you guys showed me, I saw some of the bees like in a cluster. Can you explain what they were doing then?
Which picture was? When you put the frame out?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So in that frame, they were doing several things. So you had nurse bees.
Okay.
That were tending to the eggs and the larvae because it was different stages of bees. Okay. So they were tending to those. Then we had the ones who were foraging and they were putting their pollen and stuff into the honeycomb. And then I think that one, the queen might have been on that one. So they could have had the ones that attend to the queen.
Okay.
So cleaning her off and doing all that
Oh,
stuff.
they have to clean off the queen?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have some honeybees that may just eat a little bit of honey. That's what.
Yeah.
You know, so they may be eating the honey as well.
Yeah. So they attend to her. She has attendants. So they
I mean,
keep her
this is-
clean and feed her.
She
Yes.
just has little workers everywhere.
Yes.
Okay, so we were talking about the process that from the beginning till now. Can you explain how that's gone from you guys taking the classes to
Awesome.
getting the bees to, I mean, just even speaking to classrooms? I think you guys were just at
Southeastern High School.
Southeastern. Okay.
It's been a great process, starting with bee education from Green Toe Gardens. We learned a lot from them and pursued our education from Sweet on Detroit.
Yep.
And we're still in the process of a few classes left with them. We'll be finished by the end of this month. We certified
Yay.
beekeepers.
Congratulations.
excited.
Early congratulations.
We're very excited about that. And we'll join the Bee Club, and we'll also become members of Southeastern Beekeepers Association so we can stay in the loop with all the fellow beekeepers and stay up to date.
Okay.
Do you have anything you want to piggyback on with?
No, you touched on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, touching a little bit on the blight, does that
Oh.
have anything to do with Detroit hives as well? Or?
Absolutely. One unique thing about the blight in the city of Detroit is that bees do forage off of the dog ragweeds and the dandelions and whatnot. So it's good to have it, but we just want to make it in control where it's beautified. So
Okay.
we take a vacant lot, we keep the grass cut at a nice pace, and we keep the weeds looking, manageable where it's not out of control.
Now, when you say we take the lot, do you fund and purchase the lot yourselves?
Yes.
Or okay,
Yes, we have a nonprofit organization. We became partners with Detroit Land Bank,
okay,
and we took advantage of that opportunity to be able to purchase side lots in the city of Detroit.
that's awesome. Now, who keeps that lot cleaned? I know I saw some pictures where a couple people were. They were raking maybe I think some grass, some dead grass, and I saw people handling dirt. So who
Right.
does that?
That's a great question. We work with a local business, and the head person of that business name is Ossie, and he does all of our landscaping work.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, could high school students who maybe want volunteer time, are they able to come and work with you guys?
Absolutely,
Yeah, of
absolutely.
course.
Okay. So what are the steps that maybe they need to take in order to do that?
At this moment, we are building our website, and there will be a volunteer section on our website. And our website is DetroitHives.com.
Coming up next, I want to see what Tim and Nicole have to go through in order to get these bees into motion. So they're going to put on some of their suits and teach us a little bit more about bee handling. Stay with us. Welcome back to Bria Brown Live. Now, if you take a look at Tim and Nicole, you'll see that they have changed clothes a bit because we're going to talk about why they need these uniforms on. So, Nicole, I'm going to ask you to put on the veil.
Okay.
And Tim, if you can describe, why that's needed and when you guys are doing this.
Great. The hat veil is definitely there to protect your face. But one thing about bees is the first thing they will try to sting you is in the face. So it's good to have a good protection first with the hat veil. And it has a mesh screen, and it's tinted as well so that it keeps some of the sunlight down from your eyes as well. And it keeps your face and your hair protected. And you have these stretchy elastic bands that keep it kind of tight within your body so bees can't crawl in.
Get up underneath.
Yeah, get up
and-
underneath there
Yeah,
and sting you,
see.
so it keeps you protected. And she's wearing a full body beekeeping suit, and I'm wearing a mesh one that's breathable. It has air in it, so on really hot days, it allows wind to get in and still protects me from bees stinging me. And I'm wearing some gloves, protective gloves that's made out of goat skin, and they're mesh and they roll all the way back up to my forearm, and they're pretty tight so bees can't slip in between.
Now, do you wear, Nicole, you can take that off. I don't want you to. Do you have to wear pants too, or you just wear that?
You don't have to wear pants. It's pretty much how you feel. Some days I go out and see the bees with no protective gear. I might go out.
Rebel.
Oh yeah. And I think bees can sense your energy and their vibration. But if we're doing some light work with the hive, it's not too required to wear too much protective gear. But jeans are just fine, as long as that your pants, legs are tucked in where bees can't crawl in and under them. So
Now I see some. If you can display like your fingers, what's on your gloves?
Good question. These, what you see on my fingers is a little bit of honey and brood and pollen. So it's a little bit of wax, honey, and pollen from dealing with some of the frames in the beehive.
Okay, now I want you to explain. This is the smoker.
Smoker.
Ah, I got it right. Okay, the smoker. So what does this do for the bees?
I'm gonna pass this one to Nicole.
Oh, this is yours because you usually do it.
And you guys, it smells like burnt. What were we saying? Burnt wood.
Wood
chips. Yeah, it smells like a fire, kind of.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
I like to smoke the bees, but I'm gonna let Nicole talk more about the smoker.
So the smoker is essentially a distraction from the bees. With the smoker, it kind of blocks them from letting off pheromones. Most of the times when we go in the hive, the bees are pretty calm and quiet. But if I'm trying to go in there and check on like the brood or whatever, we will smoke them, just to like kind of distract them.
Is that a threat?
No, not like that. But, just to keep them calm, so they won't attack.
Right. So what she meant by the pheromones is the bees will
next question,
will
like
actually,
for those who don't know.
they will kind of head face down until their butts in the air, and they'll wiggle their butts, and they'll give off some type of smell to notify the other bees that there's danger around. And when they do that, then they'll try to sting us. But the smoker, what it does is it distracts them and it clogs up the smell, and so they don't, it kind of stops them from going to that level of threat.
Okay.
Yep. So it's our best friend when we're going into the hive.
Now and there's also, you guys were talking about sugar water.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So what does the sugar water do?
With the sugar water, it do like 1 part sugar, 1 part water. It's another distraction.
Okay.
When you spray it on them, kind of just dampens their wings so they won't fly. And it also distracts them because they're cleaning off themselves. So while we're working in the hive, you can just spray them. Not too much, not to don't drown them.
Go down the whole hive.
Just a little bit. It's just another way to distract them while you're going into the hive.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. Now I want to talk about the difference between bees, honeybees, and I think they were called yellow jackets.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what's the difference between all of them, and which one? I know you guys are saying like we shouldn't be afraid of bees, but if I had to be afraid of one, which one should I just stay away from?
Stay away from the yellow jackets.
Okay.
And wasps.
Stay away from yellow jacket and wasps. The difference between yellow jackets and wasps, honeybees are the bees that have fur on them. And they build their hives above ground. You can find honeybees in your plants, your gardens. And all they want to do is pollinate. They want to pull the pollen from your flowers and bring it back to their hive to create honey. Opposed to yellow jackets. Yellow jackets are scavengers. They want to get whatever they can find, whether it's meat, whether it's a bag of chips, whether it's pop, whether it's anything laying around. They want to just get that, and they'll sting anything or anyone to get it. And
Vicious.
They're very aggressive.
And they build their hives below ground, so that's the difference that you can find. And like I said, the honeybees have fur on them, and the yellow jackets are hairless.
Now, as far as the medicinal purposes that we were talking about a little bit during the break, can you go into detail about that?
Absolutely. The honeybees create something what we like to call as immunotherapy. And what it does is they will take pollen, they'll go into the flowers and vegetables, and they extract that pollen and bring it back to their hive. And so we take on some of that fruits and vegetables as well as some of the pollen and what gives us allergies. We take a dose of that, and it kind of makes us immune to allergies or whatnot.
Okay. Yeah. Now, are you guys gonna eventually sell the honey? And does your honey taste different from what we would normally get from a grocery store?
Absolutely, absolutely. We definitely have several people that want to buy our honey. One is Black Bottom Brewery. What they do is they're a local organization that creates beer, and they want to infuse their beer with organic honey, which will add a different, unique taste. And there's other companies that want to buy our honey at this gas stations. And
gas stations?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
And which one of the one you said?
That was mostly,
That was pretty much it?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Now, I know you guys were also talking about with you having the lots that you want to be sure that you guys have a fence.
Absolutely.
What's the purpose of you guys having a fence?
The privacy fence is there so that it keeps our bees protected. Every now and then you may have some people walking by that get a little nosy and want to see what's going on. And they have tapped the fence and moved things around, and that's really dangerous to our bees and dangerous to them. And they don't know about bee safety. And also, most important about the fence is that it protects our property from unwanted trash dumpers. We've had people place tires on our land, place trash and all types of debris, and that's not a good, healthy environment that we're trying to maintain. So.
Right, because previously it was a vacant lot, so people were used to dumping trash on that lot and everything. But now it's cleaned up. We want to keep it clean and help keep the neighborhoods clean and keep a safe environment for the bees and everybody around.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of the lot, is to get rid of the blight in the city.
Right. Now, have you guys purchased this fence, or how are you guys going about that?
Well, we're still raising money, and we're looking for donations to raise money for the fence.
Okay. Now, are you guys gonna let the bees free, or like once you guys are done with them, what are you guys gonna do with them?
We're not gonna let them free. We
Okay.
keep them in the on the lot. We provide a home for the bees.
Okay.
So they stay in the hive. They have free range to go in and out whenever they please. The fence is not going to block them from leaving the property. So it's just a way to the fence is just to protect them, protect the hive and people who may be allergic to the bees and don't know, because people are not used to seeing a hive.
Yeah.
In the city, so people are probably curious.
Like, what is this doing here?
What is this doing here?
Yeah.
What is this box? So.
And Nicole, you mind elaborating on how far bees will forage?
Oh, yeah.
From our property.
They'll travel up to like 4 miles.
Really?
4 to 6 miles from the hive.
And then now, do they come back because they can smell it, or how do they come back to the hive?
They have like their own personal like navigation system.
Okay. Okay.
Which they usually take their direction from the sun. So they'll see where the sun at, and they'll know where the hive is at, and they'll actually come back too and tell like the other bees like, hey, I found like this really good spot where we can get pollen from and nectar. So they'll do like a little wiggle dance, and the wiggle dance, they'll actually go into a circle into like the direction of where they yes.
Have you guys seen them do this
Oh,
before?
yes.
What is it like? I mean, because
like
it's like a little wiggle dance with their butts.
So like, okay, and while they're doing this, are they buzzing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. 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 Now, is there any time where they're silent, or are they always buzzing?
They're always buzzing, but it's very, very low.
Okay.
Once they start getting louder, like there's like some type of danger, or they feel threatened.
And we typically normally hear them buzzing when we go inside the hives. But when they're left alone and no one's bothering them, they're quiet.
They're very quiet.
And they normally go out during the day between the hours of like 10 to 3.
They have like bank hours, so I always think of it like bank hours. They work from 9 to 5.
Okay. Well, I mean, this was really, really interesting to learn about, and that's hilarious because some bank hours are 10 to 5, and then on Fridays they are 11 to 4. So that gets a bit of annoying. But
typically, like when the sun comes up and right before dusk.
Okay.
They're typically out there.
They're out there working.
Yes.
And any days where it's raining, it's a rainy day, and the bees may have to use the bathroom.
Oh,
you want to elaborate on that, Nicole?
So when the weather isn't good enough for them to go out, or like when it's raining, and they have to use the bathroom, bees do not use the bathroom inside the hive. They keep that hive clean. They're always cleaning. So they'll go out. They'll hold it, and then they'll go out and use the bathroom.
So now this may be getting a little bit too detailed, but do you know how long they can hold?
Good question.
That is a good question, but
I just wanted to know.
They'll just hold it until the weather is clear enough for them to go out. So they won't even go like when it's really cold too. So.
Wow. I mean, I've learned so much. I hope you guys have also learned a lot from this. You know, them coming, I didn't expect. Seriously, no, and that's not saying it in a bad way, but I didn't expect to know all this knowledge from it, and not knowing that it's so much that goes into just getting some honey, and so much that goes into being a bee handler and all that. I do want to thank you guys for coming on to Bria Brown Live. I do want to come out to the lot. Now, can people just pass by? Are they able to walk by? Can you tell our audience where it's at?
It's located on East Warren, 9336 East Warren, Detroit, Michigan, 48214, in the Warren community.
Okay.
District 4.
So the cross streets are Warren and McCullen.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So just remember that if we don't have bees, we won't be here either. So they have, they're really important to us because they help pollinate to the food that we eat. So
I like food, and I think everyone else at home likes food too. And I think that we all really appreciate bees more now from this interview. So I want to thank you guys for being here once again.
We're happy to be here.
Awesome. Well, make sure you guys stay tuned for the next Bria Brown Live. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.